Miss Parker and Miss McKinsey.
Yes, good evening.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How's the project going?
It's going. I had an exam today for my next class, so
Pardon me?
that was
Oh, okay.
that was my focus today. But I have just
Okay.
gathering information that I will be
hmm
using, and
hmm
I'll be prepared when it's time to turn it in.
Okay. All right. So you didn't have a chance to look at chapter 7. Well, chapter 7 really deals with competition in retail banking. So
Okay.
what I did, I just tried to show you a broader part of it from around the world.
Okay.
But as we know, living in the Bahamas, we can talk about competition in retail banking because it's there.
hmm
So we just probably see how many other persons will join because it's two of you now. Yeah. How's work, Edrica?
Work is fine. It's fine. You started your vacation already, right?
I've been on vacation from last week,
Yeah, I realized that.
Wednesday.
Okay. How's your vacation?
Oh, too much traffic on the road, man. Jeez.
I know, right?
I'm like, well,
Like,
what is this?
where they
That's
going?
a lot of time. And then you can't go anywhere because curbside. So you want some paint, you gotta go curbside. It's just maddening. I don't even understand why the country is locked down to that effect that Kelly's has to be closed. I passed by the next lumber company, City Lumber, they closed. So how people supposed to get paint and other stuff when we could go to the food store
And just walk right in.
when I mean, if we talking about COVID, then the food store because we touch, we just have barely moving space and when you go to the food store sometimes. So I don't understand the logic of the curbsides for the retail stores. I don't understand that.
Right.
And the food store is actually open. Yeah.
I agree.
What we're going to do. Yeah.
Okay.
And also in I want to put it in chapter 8 we talk about the payment system, but I'm going to send you all a handout on payment system and the laws
Okay.
because I want to capture some of that, you all to understand some of that too. So
Okay.
yeah, insert that in there. So okay. I don't know if y'all want to, like I say, what time is it? 4 minutes. We'll give them how much minutes? But we can start if y'all want to, or if y'all want to wait, either one. Miss Parker? Yes, I know Miss Bain says she's gonna be late. Yeah. So I guess with the weather out there, a lot of persons seem to be late today. Yeah. Miss McKinsey?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah, I wanted to know if you both wanted to just start. We can start just looking at competition and concentration
Okay.
on page, well, they have all number the same page. One of the biggest drivers of competition in any market is the number of firms operating in the market. In 2010, the OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, founded the market concentration measures taken in the aftermath of the 2007-2008 global financial crisis. Now we know, are you all aware of the global financial crisis in 2007, 2008?
Yes, the recession.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm
That
aware.
is the step taken by a few large banks to increase their market shares and therefore dominate the market. May have had an impact on competition. As part of the deliberation of the OECD estimated market concentration in several territories and some of the resulting data. Well, I don't have the illustration for that. In the US, there's a clear evidence that regulations had effectively prevented similar mergers and acquisitions, M&R and A activities among banks. US banks historically had been licensed by the state and prevented from operating outside licensed area. Like with anything, um, you can trade in a certain, like you can do foreign trading in different countries, and then some countries have it where you can't trade in another country. And it's the same thing with, I guess, with the banks being licensed and prevented from operating outside the licensed area. Okay, anybody else join? Just Roseanne. So with competition and concentration, we know that it can also lead to mergers. Mergers is which we talk about in that couple chapters ago. We talked about mergers. We know mergers happen because, like with anything, the economy can only there's only certain number of customers, there only certain number of businesses that you can get business from. So banks also doing the same thing. Insurance company has done mergers. Banks around the world are doing mergers. And we know when mergers happen, positions become redundant. Companies, different branches are closed because if if I have an HR manager and I'm the company that is purchasing say I'm purchasing Miss McKinsey company, the bottom line about it is I'm the one with the money. So I choose to say who go and who stays. So most of the time it'll be that the persons who work for Miss McKinsey and I'm purchasing. So most of the time the persons who work for her would be the one who would probably get sent home and my staff would be the one to stay. And that's what happened with mergers. And all around the world, the same thing happened. And like I say, because of the financial crisis, global crisis in 2000, 2007, 2008, it created a lot of downsizing, a lot of mergers, because the economy was, in a recession. And then if you turn over, I just want to just go over some points. We'll see that Royal Bank of Scotland to sell off excess branches following the merger in which they engaged at the outset of the financial crisis. So we know Royal Bank of Scotland, um, they set off, they had some mergers where a small number of large banks dominated the market. They can comprise of powerful obligatory. That is the market condition in which, now something they miss off here, so can't say what that is. Competition and concentration. The two examples that illegal collusions and price where certain market condition exists. That is where when market condition exists, people sometimes like in the UK, when was this global crisis? The UK, think I spoke to you about it before with the LIBOR rate. The LIBOR rate, um, they had two persons who was in collusion They went to court, they were charged, I think they went to prison in UK for what they would do. For persons to be able to qualify for a loan, they had the LIBOR rate fixed. So even though I make 60,000, my spouse make 40,000. Together we make 100,000. But then we go and we're able to purchase 400,000. Reason for this, and we were able to qualify. Reason for this because the LIBOR rate was fixed by two persons who had control of the rate, putting out the rate every day. And what they did, where a rate should have probably been 10%, they fixed the LIBOR rate where it was like 6%. So what happened at the end of the day, when I was able to purchase a house for 400,000 with a payment, say, of probably 1,500, when this scheme was uncovered, a lot of persons in the UK lost their life savings, lost their homes because of the fixed LIBOR rate by two persons. And so we had two just lost everything. They couldn't afford because once they discovered being fixed, what happened? Um, Customers, persons with mortgages were no longer able to afford to pay the mortgage because if I got the mortgage at 6% and my payment was 1,500, and now when they uncovered that the rates were being fixed, what happened to me then? My rate then goes up to 10%. My payment is now $2,500, something that I cannot afford to pay. So in that instant, we had a lot of people, persons who lost their home savings, lost their investments because of two persons fixing, like they say, fixing the LIBOR rate. And that's what happened there in the UK. A small number of large banks dominated the industry. The products of the banks are humongous, that is, of the same type, or differentiated only by branding. Banks had formal and mechanisms for signaling prices or interest rates to each other. And when they say we're signaling prices to each other, that means like we spoke about before with the Commonwealth Bank situation where the manager was able to tell the stockbroker, hey, this is the rate that you need to go to the market for. Okay, this is what you need to bid for the shares. And so this is what happened also in competition that happened. Interchanging fees for plastic card. Globally, there are only a few major card schemes providers to which banks are affiliated, MasterCard and Visa being key examples. And you will see that in chapter 9. One of the way in which banks profit from issuing cards and acquiring retailers or merchants who will accept these cards in the interchanging, charging fees that merchant banks pay the fees to holders. Banks to compensate it for risks and costs of incur in processing their payment. What do you think they mean by uh, bank taking a risk when they get involved with Master Visa cards? What do you think they mean by that? Anybody? Hello? Hello? Miss McKinsey?
Hello?
Hi,
Hi,
I just
Miss
want
Robert.
somebody to answer. What do you think, Miss Miss Roberts? I just want somebody to tell me what do you think? What do you think they mean by take risk and it's compensated for it by Master and Visa.
You say it's compensated by.
They're compensated for, why do you think they're compensated for their risk?
Is it
Well, we know, okay, say for instance, you you have a debit card, you have a Visa card, you have a MasterCard. As we know, a debit card is your own money. With the Visa and the MasterCard, good evening, the Visa and the MasterCard, we know that that's Visa. That's something that the bank, most banks have to put up a certain amount of money, but Visa and MasterCard would be the one to pay if there's a discrepancy. Say you say, I didn't make that charge. You have a certain number of days to actually go to your bank and say, I am querying this charge because I didn't make this charge. But guess what? With Visa, you would get your money back at a certain number of days. Using your debit card, because it's your money, you're not getting that money back anytime until the fraud investigation is completed. And once the fraud investigation is completed and they find, well, hey, okay, that was a fraud, then you could take up to 3 months before you get your money back. But with Visa and Master, because it's actually insured, you get your money back in a shorter period of time, because they don't have to do, they'll do the investigation, but they would also refund you your money instantly, unlike if it's a debit card, if it's a debit card situation. But banks banks have Visa and debit cards, and merchants, and nowadays we have it where merchants now have their own little machine that you go there, they swipe, and everything goes through. You have some Master and Visa card that some banks you have to put in a PIN. Then you have some banks you just push your card in and automatically you get an approval. And we know we have back in Nassau, in the Bahamas, we have even Commonwealth Bank have their own Master and Visa card. We have Bank of the Bahamas. I'm not sure with Bank of the Bahamas. Is Bank of the Bahamas prepaid, or do they have actual Visa? Anyone knows?
They prepaid.
They have a prepaid card, yeah.
So they don't have, like, to say like how a Royal Bank or First Caribbean or Scotia Bank have an actual Visa
No, ma'am.
that you have a limit on it.
Not
No,
They
ma'am.
sure.
only have they only have the prepaid where you have to put funds on.
Yes.
Okay. And like I say, with anything, it's all competition. It's all, every time you'd see, like with all banks, you'd see little advertisement, okay, get a mortgage loan, and you automatically pre-qualify for a Visa or a MasterCard. You'll see First Caribbean saying it, you'll see Scotia. So even with the Visa, MasterCard, we have competition going on with the banks around the world. Any questions, any input that someone wants to say?
No.
No? What y'all read? Hello?
I mean, it's pretty much straightforward.
It is, I agree with, that's what I tried to do, make it, okay. Any of you did have a chance to read? Hello? Hi. Hello? Nobody did?
Which chapter are we on?
Chapter 7?
Chapter are we on?
Chapter 7. Okay, I need somebody to read for me. I was talking about Master Visa, and I want to talk about, and that's in competition and concentration on the turn over the page. Case study 6.62, rigid LIBOR. Remember, I was talking about the LIBOR. Miss McKenzie, can you read for me, please? Oh, you're not there. Miss Nixon, can you read for me, please?
I'm starting from the beginning of chapter 7.
No, case study 6.2.
Hello?
Case study 6.2. It's, let me tell you what page. 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 4 of chapter 7. Case study 6.2.
6.3, you said?
6.2.
6.2, okay. Figure 6.2 summarizes the basic model, which considers a market
Hold
not
on, hold on. That's which, because 6.2 is
Oh,
something
case
else.
6.2, rigoring labor.
LIBOR. Uh-huh.
That's the correct one, Miss Smith?
Hi. Yes, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Case study 6.2, rigoring labor.
LIBOR.
As we saw in
Yeah.
chapter 2, the rigoring of the London Interbank Offered Rate LIBOR was a scandal that enveloped UK and US banks when it was revealed in the aftermath of the 2007-2008 financial crisis. LIBOR is the rate of interest administered daily via the
Continental Exchange.
to
Mm-hmm. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you. Is everyone?
Yeah, because I can't hear them. They're not saying anything.
Oh, give me an internet.
My internet went dropped, Miss Smith.
I think it's my internet too. I keep getting logged off.
Whoa. Miss Nixon?
Okay, LIBOR
Hi.
is the rate of interest administered daily via the Intercontinental Exchange (ICE) and used to benchmark loan interest rates and to lend to each other on the interbank market. A small number of London banks quote a range of dealing rates to the ICE at a specified time each day. The ICE calculates an average rate based on predetermined mechanism and publishes this as LIBOR for that day. During the crisis, some London-based banks sought to rig the rate by colluding to quote erroneous rates to the British Bankers Association, responsible for administering the rate at that time, so that it was higher or lower than the real market rate. A higher rate allowed banks to charge more for linked loans, and the bank's payment of lower rates made them look more creditworthy than they really were. Since this collusion was revealed, heavy fines exceeding £2 billion have already been levied. FIDOs dominate a market to potentially negative effect. It is a complex economic concept, but 3 brief illustrations will help to explain its implications. I can effectively keep new entrants You saying something, Ms. Smith?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Banks can
You can go
effectively
ahead.
keep new entrants out of the industry or market. The product or service offered is an economic necessity good. That is, a good for which consumers have a high demand and the market is mature, in which event growth in market share comes from consumers switching provider rather than from market growth. But not every oli- oligopoly
Only-
oligopoly gives rise to illegal collusion, or the threat of investigation by competition authorities. Markets can exist of interdependence as illustrated next. The
Okay.
scope of competition.
What do we see? Okay, I just wanted to intervene. What do we see right here? Where in which, not looking at the bank, but in our market here, where do we see a lot of competition happening right here in our market? Which, I won't say retailer, which organization we see the, excluding the bank, there's another area of competition right here. Um,
BTC and Alive.
Bahamas.
BTC and Alive.
Edrica,
BTC and
Yeah.
Alive.
can you say which, right, and Alive, but like I'm saying, okay, Alive is being more aggressive and they've been offering more products. So what is happening to BTC?
A lot of persons are leaving them to join Alive.
What they call it, port. We're porting
port their
from
numbers.
BTC to Alive. So a lot of persons are doing that now. And a lot of times people, and that's the competition. And a lot of times, no matter what, BTC, you look every day, you see BTC with their new ads, then you see Alive with their new ads, because I saw something today, Alive with some new ad on. So, no, the competition is there. And who is winning the battle? Is
Alive.
it BTC? Is it Alive?
Alive.
But every day, and I think too, a lot of people get annoyed at BTC. So what they say, if BTC just do one thing wrong, they say, I brought my number to Alive. And so what happens? BTC just have to keep coming up with new advertisement, new market strategy. But what is happening? People are still porting their numbers to Alive. So that there is really a big competition in the Bahamas today. Okay. All right, Edrica, can you take over for me, please? I want you the scope of competition.
Okay. Okay. The scope of competition. The bargaining power of suppliers. The first of 5 forces. The bargaining power of suppliers relates to the power that suppliers, that is, lenders, depositors, and shareholders, have to influence the level of competition. The extent and the number of suppliers, the nature of the inputs that they offer, and the cost to the retail bank of switching to new ones.
Page you on, Edrica?
I am on,
Page you on?
I'm on page 8. I'm on a bit wrong page. Page 8.
Oh, you're going over there. Yeah. You at the scope. Okay, I was looking at the other portion. Go ahead.
Okay. Since the lifeblood of a bank is liquidity, liability managers need to work to ensure that no single source of funding is allowed to influence that bank's decision too greatly. The story tale of Northern Rock's reliance on market funding to fuel its rapid market expansion in home mortgages is an example of suppliers' power. Supplier power may also be influenced by the threat of market entry by the supplier itself. An insurer, for example, could invest in starting its own bank rather than buying the bonds of existing competitors. This is exactly what happened in 1998 1998 in the UK market when Egg arrived on the banking scene as a subsidiary of insurance company Prudential. The bargaining power of buyers. Customers are an important ingredient in competition, and they can influence the retail bank if they have bargaining power. That is, if they are sufficiently concentrated or are buying in sufficient volume, that has an impact if they favor one competitor over another. The better the information about rivals in the market and the lower the cost of switching from one seller to another, the more ready a buyer can be to transfer their allegiance. Individual customers have little bargaining power, however, and are often switched to another bank because this could have a negative impact on regular payments or credit score. In the UK, a guaranteed switching service came into operation in 2013 to try to alleviate anxieties and allow customers more freedom of choice. Price comparison.
Okay, here okay, Edrika, just want to insert. Here in the Bahamas, okay, as we see now, what's happening with Scotiabank? Anybody's been reading what's happening with Scotiabank related to the Family Islands?
They closed their branches.
Scotiabank is going to close all their branches except for Freeport. So what is going to happen on the islands when it comes to now banking? Because, okay, Bank of the Bahamas is closed, and I feel the government bank, if the only bank on the island should be the government bank, Bank of the Bahamas. But Bank of the Bahamas is closed of most of their branches. So what's going to happen now to persons on these family islands where there's, I don't even know if there's a royal bank, because everybody just seemed to just pull their services from the family island, which is more needed, because I know before the post office played a vital role, but no longer is the post office is not up to date. The system's not up to date the way it should be. So I don't even know what we're gonna do on those family islands. What the person's gonna do? Hotels, how they like with Sandals, Emerald Bay, and Exuma. A lot of persons work at Emerald Bay, and when they open back, well, they say they're not sure they're gonna open back in February, but whenever they do, what is going to happen? Because guess what? I think Royal is still there, but how long? We know when one institution starts something, what happens here? Everybody else follows suit. So, or we could hope and pray that Scotiabank don't downsize here in Nassau, because them doing it on the family islands, the trickling effect can happen here in Nassau. And once one bank decide that, okay, we need to pull our service because all the hotels are closed, nobody's working, we're not pulling in enough. They said enough. That's why I think the Minister of Finance, he said that Scotia said that they are 93% digital. So they don't need to be on the island because they're 93% digital. So I don't know, what's going to happen there with the family island. But that's an area where a new person on the block can come on and really open up there and be able to have service like Omni Flash Cash and stuff like that. They need to probably expand, broaden where they can deliver certain services to the family island. I can't say island luck because that's a whole different story. But I mean, like Omni Flash Cash, they should be able to sit down and look at it and see how they can apply for their banking license, because they're doing most of the stuff. So, and try to open their services on the family island. Okay, Miss Parker, I didn't see Miss Barr today. A lot of persons not here today. Wonder what's happening. Miss Parker? Hello. Oh, she seemed to be off too. Hello.
I think a lot of persons have internet connection
Problem
issue.
with internet. That's how it seems. Yeah, because I see a lot of persons off. Yeah, it's internet issues. What is going on? All of us cable. One little breeze blowing. This the situation.
Yes, because I
Yeah,
keep
because I see
getting log
I
off
see.
and log back on.
It's only me. It's only me and you. Everybody else keep. Everybody else. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Even Miguel is off. It's just me and you. Oh, I don't even know. And I don't understand how classes, how does those students make it through the day if this keep happening?
Yeah, and then like
Just,
BPL started cutting off lights again, so it hasn't
what you
been
mean
done in
cutting
our
off
area.
light?
They cut the teacher light went off
What you
and it
mean?
didn't come back. The lights that they cut off
They
electricity.
they
Mm-hmm.
disconnecting your lights? I thought they weren't doing that. Oh my gracious. What are we going to do in this country? I don't even know. What are we gonna do? Well, it's just me and you, and I don't even see Miguel. Miguel, he's off too. Hmm, this is not going to be a good class. What area are you in? What
I
area you
live
live
in the
in?
east,
Oh, I live
China
Carmichael,
Maxon.
and I live Carmichael. So what's going on? This is just terrible. How do you get through a class? Yes, all of them are off. I
That's
can
this
see it.
weather.
All of them are off. Just one little breeze. Anyway, well, if we're gonna keep getting knock in, knock off, it don't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And I really wanted to start looking at chapter 8 because chapter 7 is just really talking about the competition and the different strategies that companies have. But I really wanted to talk about chapter 8. Chapter 8 and oh, so what do you want to do? Miss Nixon? Oh, you off too? Oh, gee. Miguel, it's not, oh, it's not working today. Everybody off.
Miss Smith, you still there?
Miss Nixon, hello.
I
You had gone off too.
log in.
I think this don't make a whole lot of sense because everybody's off, even
Hi, Miss
Miguel.
Smith. Sorry about that.
You have internet issues
Just
too?
come back.
Everybody just keep going in and coming out. Oh, what kind of class are we gonna have? Even Miguel is off.
I have a question with the next exam we have to take. Are you going to do it multiple choice again, or it's going to be? I mean, are you going to send us it like how you sent us the last one, or no?
You mean which exam? The final exam?
Yes, ma'am.
I always do that, but y'all still
Oh,
is
I didn't know.
disappoint me. I still know it wrong. Huh? I mean the
And
other exam, the midterm.
next thing, the
Yes, ma'am.
project.
Yes, ma'am.
You say November 30th, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we have to bring it in.
Yes, I prefer y'all to drop it at my establishment where I work at Fidelity. In an envelope, make sure it's
Which
in a folder.
fidelity are you to?
Frederick Street.
Frederick Street. Okay. All right.
Everybody just
All right.
in
I'm
and
almost
out.
done with mine.
What are we gonna do with class today? Because this is everybody just in and out.
we're gonna do class again next week.
We have to make up a class. Well, no, we almost finished. So next week, because we have chapter 8, chapter 9, and 10. And like I say, for chapter 8, I'm just going to add some stuff to chapter 8. I will copy and scan to y'all for y'all to have, because I just want to put in chapter 8. I talked about the payment system, but I want to put some other stuff like the laws, some different stuff in it to for you to really, really understand the payment system. So I want to add some stuff to it, which I will make a copy. Jesus, everybody caught. Lord. This ain't working.
I'm back.
Uh-uh.
I'm back.
This ain't working. Everybody's gone again. Everybody's off. Miss Bean, she must be off too, because nobody could get in. What is wrong? Okay, we're gonna have to do this another. Who is? You know, a lot of people always have classes. We have to make up a class. Say, tentatively say Thursday, if not Friday.
What about doing lockdown that Saturday or something like that?
Hello. That's fine. That's fine.
I didn't hear you,
I
Miss
will
Smith.
send out something. Because everybody keep going in and out, it don't make sense. I want to do a makeup class where we can go over finish chapter 7 and go over chapter 8. So like I said, we'll have enough time to go over stuff with the actual making up, getting prepared for the midterm, for the final exam. Because you know the final exam is crucial. Nobody wants to fail, and I don't want it to fail. Okay? So I'm going to, like you say, I'm going to do a class during lockdown. Say Friday, probably. All right, but I'll send something out to everyone because it don't make sense. Everybody is off. We keep going in and out. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Miss Nixon. Take care.
Okay, Miss Smith, you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay.